Ever since we could talk about dreams, we as a species have always been fascinated by them. Throughout history, they've been viewed as many different things. They've been viewed as extensions of reality, messages from gods, messages from the dead, predictions of the future. Aristotle thought that they were a result of physiological functions. Hell, we even had temples back in the day built around the healing powers of dreams. More recently, in the early 19th century, dreams began to get dismissed as being a result of anxiety, indigestion, or even just noise. It wasn't until the late 19th century when Sigmund Freud had revolutionized the study of dreams. Personally, I've always been super intrigued by dreams. I've always had super vivid and super realistic dreams. I remember when I was a teenager, as soon as I woke up from a dream that was like crazy to me, I would wake up and just roll over and Google it right away, trying to get a deeper understanding of what my dream had meant. Although I am still very interested in dreams, I'm more interested in them in general. I'm less interested in understanding them. I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm kind of just content with not understanding things and dreams being one of them, but more so now I'm interested in the creative aspect of dreams. Which is why for the next 30 days, I'm going to be keeping a dream journal. Alright, good morning you guys. It is the first day that I'm starting this dream journal. I just finished writing and getting ready for the day. So I'd still been doing, like when I wake up and I wasn't going on my phone in the first like 20 minutes, I would listen to like podcasts or just stretch or just like, I don't know, just not be on my phone in the first 20 minutes. I would find substitutes instead. So instead of doing the podcast now in the first 20 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and switch to writing my dream journal, which I think is going to be beneficial too, because I was kind of like, I wasn't getting tired of the podcast, like it was nice, but I think it's nice to have change every once in a while, and I do like that I'm still not going to be on my phone, because there's some days too, like Saturdays and Sundays, I stopped listening to the podcast because I had to find like one to listen to, and I just didn't really see the benefit in that, and so instead I was just like stretching and hanging out with my cat and stuff for a little bit before finally getting up and getting ready, and so instead, now I'm going to be starting the dream journal. So writing this took me like, I think like 20 minutes, I didn't really time it, but I did like glance at the clock when I woke up, and then I came straight to writing, and then I looked at it after, and it had been like 20 minutes. But I wrote like 4 pages, and I always have the craziest dreams. I've always wanted to keep a dream journal because my dreams are really crazy, and I wanted to be like an author when I was growing up, and I always just assumed that I would write books about my dreams. Don't get in the shot, Elijah. Like, I know like people say that they have crazy dreams, but my dreams are always really like, first of all, they're super vivid. Like, super vivid. I have conversations, there's texts, I can see hallways, like, and I wake up remembering it all, too. I've never not, like, woken up and been like, I didn't dream last night. Like, as far as I can remember, I've always had dreams. And then, like, I rarely have nightmares, too. I recently lost my dream catcher, and I think partly to blame was that, like, of not having nightmares was because of the fact that I had a dream catcher, and so when I stopped having one, every, like, maybe once a month now I have, like, a nightmare. So I need to get a new one. But I rarely ever have nightmares. Before that, I never had a nightmare. And then they're super, like, random, too. Like, they're super fiction. And so I always wanted to, like, be an author ever since I was, like, a child. And I just assumed that I would write about my dreams because my dreams are, like, where, like, everything crazy happens. And it's, like, all of, like, this creativity into one little, like, bubble that gets forced into my mind at night. And I absolutely love my crazy, vivid dreams. So I'm really glad that I'm, like, forcing myself now to write them down. And I hope that maybe one day I can write a story about it. I think the most interesting aspect to me about all this is that over 5,000 years, dreams have been a peak of interest for people, and we still don't really know why we dream. Thanks to modern day science and technologies, we now have a better understanding of how we dream. We've determined that during our REM cycle is when we have our most vivid dreams. We've also determined that our motor control and our sensory processing portions of our brain are more active while we're dreaming. So the first main benefit that I found, being the main reason why I wanted to create a dream journal in the first place, is because dreams fuel creativity. So many different artists, authors, and musicians have all found inspiration from their dreams. To name a few examples, John Lennon's song Dream, Inception by Christopher Nolan, the Beatles' song Yesterday, Misery and Dreamcatcher by Stephen King, and even the beloved Twilight. Go Team Edward. Keeping a dream journal can also help to reveal reoccurring patterns within your dreams. Now, these reoccurring dreams, they can be used to analyze for a deeper meaning, or they can help with self-representation, which in turn helps with emotional processing. And finally, the most widely used benefit for keeping a dream journal is to help one lucid dream. Now, if you guys have never heard of lucid dreaming, it's a sort of simple but also very complex concept. It's basically where you are conscious in your dreams. You kind of realize that you're dreaming, and it helps you take control of the story and the narrative.
Done. Alright.
We did it. We made it through an entire month of keeping a dream journal. I don't think this habit is going to be something that I continue into the rest of my life here for months to come, just because it didn't really benefit me in any sort of way. Like, it felt really nice and refreshing to be able to like just get out of bed and write. So I think maybe I do want to incorporate journaling into a future habit, just to see if it is something that I do enjoy, because it was really nice to get out of bed and again like incorporate not going on my phone right away and instead doing something. And I do really enjoy writing. Like, I used to keep like, well, I still do keep journals, but I used to keep like a daily journal for a large part of my life. And so I do want to try maybe journaling in general. But as for dream journals, I think they mostly just kind of frustrated me, because let me see. There were 9 days on different occasions when I couldn't remember my dream, which is something that's like never happened to me, or maybe I just like noticed it because of the fact that I was like keeping a journal of what my dreams were. But as far like before this month, I thought I like was able to remember my dream every single night that I dreamed, because like I would wake up so often and be like, wow, that was a crazy dream, and I would like think about it. But when it came to actually like remembering it enough to write it down after getting out of bed, like I started not being able to remember it at all, and it was very frustrating because it felt like a feeling of like deja vu sort of. And I love the feeling of deja vu because like it makes sense to me, but I don't like waking up from a dream and not being able to place the thought that you just have. A better example, I suppose, would be like when you know what word you're trying to say, like it's on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't say it. That's how not being able to remember a dream felt to me, and it was so frustrating. But also, I think maybe the fact that I couldn't remember so many dreams was because I kept like a sort of like a note of what the reason was for me not being able to remember my dreams. We were in the process of moving while this was happening, and so a lot of nights I didn't sleep very well, and I was like sort of like had like a lot of anxiety about the move. I had a lot of things that I had to do, and so I would stay up like thinking about them. So there were 5 days in a row when I just didn't dream. I don't know, I feel like that's the longest amount of time that I've ever gone without dreaming. Yeah, but this was like really weird for me because I feel like before actually keeping like a journal of it, like I even said to you guys at the beginning of this video here that I've always been able to remember my dreams. I've always had crazy dreams. I can't remember a time when I didn't remember my dream. So like visually like keeping a document of everything that I like when I would dream and when I wouldn't, when I could remember them, when I couldn't, was really like eye-opening to me sort of, because it felt weird to know that maybe I don't always remember my dreams. And then I had 2 dreams that I had wrote about that I remember after writing about it, I was like, this would make a really good like book, a really good like plot for a book that I wanted to write, which was kind of like one of the reasons why I wanted to dream journal in the first place, to get like inspiration for a book. And so I'm really happy that I found or had, I guess, dreams that transpired into like a really good plot line. But all in all, I don't think I'm going to continue doing this habit in my everyday life. Like, I think tomorrow I'm just going to drop it, just because it did frustrate me a lot when I would wake up and I couldn't remember my dream. And so I want to find like a replacement, something that I enjoy doing, maybe just like waking up and doing like a journal about how last night was or my day was or what I expect for today or something like that. But yeah, all in all, I don't think I'm going to continue it. If you guys are interested in any of the things that I mentioned in this video though, try dream journaling, because it was like a refreshing and interesting like thing to try. And like I said, I never would have found out that I don't have dreams or I can't remember my dreams some days if I didn't try dream journaling. So that's an interesting little like self-revelation here. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below. Subscribe to my channel. I post videos on like every other Sunday, almost every Sunday. I will see you next month with a new habit. I shall see you in like 2 weeks with a new hobby, and I'll see you next month with a new habit. Alright, bye guys.